Hello, welcome to the Other 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
And it's your podcast for everything not top six. Tired of your team being last on match of the day and not getting the flowers they deserve? That's about to change. Tom, what do we have for listeners this week?
Brentford beat the odds at Villa Park. Sunderland cruised past Burnley. A Luis Suarez impression. Traore tossing Cucurella like a shot put. Schade kicks out at Cash. It was a petulant weekend of Barclays, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it really was. It really was. I even saw that at I even saw it at Forest Ground. So yeah, it was mad all around. What did you get up to this weekend?
Well, some good news. I beat Virgin Media in the war. I have gotten out of the contract free of charge. I have the next couple of weeks completely paid for, and then have to find a new internet provider, but I am free from the shackles of Virgin Media.
How the hell did you do that?
Mate, numerous complaints getting passed around from this person to the next person. Eventually spoke to someone with an ounce of common sense who was like, yeah, it's actually not on. So he was like, let me have a conversation. Came back 20 minutes later and was like, yep, all right, I've got you cancelled free of charge, because they were trying to ask for £250 to cancel the contract, and I laughed them off the phone.
Well, there you go, listeners. If you want to find out how to get out of your internet contracts with Virgin Media, feel free to email in at other14fc. Yeah, mate, that's a good win, actually. I didn't think you'd be able to do that.
Exactly, no one did. Everyone I've told are like, well, that's pretty good. Virgin are like notoriously shit for that kind of thing. So, yeah, it was a win. How about you, mate? What have you been up to?
Not much, just work, and then worked all Saturday, and then went up to Nottingham on Sunday for the game with my mate who's a Forest fan, and had a really nice day out there. Didn't get too drunk, which was good. So yeah, didn't impact the week too much so far. But yeah, I think it was just good all round. But anyway, should we take a break and then get into the games?
Let's do it.
Okay, and we're back. So, listeners, we're having a bit of a debate here. I feel like we should be going for the West Ham game to start this week. I know we don't usually start with losses, but I feel like that's the game where the most action is. But I have a feeling Tom's going to want to bury it quite far down.
Yeah, because we don't start with losses, and we're notorious for putting our teams first. So let's give everyone a break, right? And I have put what I think was the shock result of the weekend.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll let you get away with this one, but there's going to be a long time spent on that West Ham Chelsea game. Don't think you're getting out of it.
It's all right. It'll be at the 40-minute mark. No one will be listening by that point.
But you think anyone's listening anyway? Yeah, cool. Okay, you want to start with Villa Brentford, because yeah, I'd agree with you. It was a bit of a shock one. It was a shock one to begin with, like Brentford winning 1-0 away from home, but then seeing like the red card come in as well. I saw it on the app whilst I was at the City Ground, I think it was. And it was just there like, how has this happened?
Yeah, crazy. Like, so much props to Brentford to be able to grind that result out. Like, to score so soon after the red card as well. I mean, we'll talk about the red card. It's obviously a massive, massive point of the game. Like, I don't think anyone can have any complaints.
No, it's so silly. It's so silly because, like, the challenge is over as well. It's not one of those where you see, like, there's an aggro and it's, like, kind of adding to it each time. It's like, the challenge is over. They're both getting up. I don't know what it is Matty Cash he kicks out at, isn't it? And
yeah.
Just like, I don't know. It doesn't even look like he could have said anything. It was like Schade is just getting up.
I don't think it's that he said anything. I think it's because Matty Cash is getting up that he kind of like, because he has to go that way to get up, he's kind of pushing Schade a little bit. And I think Schade just kind of feels like immediately that he's gonna that he's felt some contact from Matty Cash, and then he's just lost it. It's no excuse. Like, it is absolutely really silly, but I feel that is the only like reasonable explanation that I can think, is that Schade has just reacted to Matty Cash trying to get up too quickly or whatever, and he's just had an absolute head loss.
It's going to sound so bad, but like, if you're going to lose your head, why not just kick him properly? Because it's not even like a proper one. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you could almost say like it looks like he's like placed his foot to get up and it's gone a bit wrong. If you're going to go for him, like, go for him if you're going to have a head loss.
Well, it's one of those that he's tried to get away with it, but you're never getting away with that with how many cameras there are in the ground. And it's like, you could see it from every different angle. It wasn't particularly subtle, but I think he's tried to be really subtle about it and thought, oh, if I just put a little bit of pressure back down, then I'll get away with it. It won't look like I've like kicked out at him. But yeah, just really silly from Schade.
Yeah, and I guess you're thinking that's where the game's going to really change, and because Villa were on the front for it quite a bit, there was a Tammy Abraham chance, and then yeah, like you say, Brentford pretty much capitalised. Do you think maybe a bit of arrogance might be a bit too strong, but a bit of carelessness from Villa to think, okay, we're at home, we've got the extra man, this is going to be a comfortable win now to a team that doesn't win away?
Yeah, I definitely think Villa players probably thought, right, well, we can maybe not look defensively so much. You always get that when the other team goes down to 10, the crowd get behind you, the players probably all start thinking, right, well, we should win this, then we should go on the front foot. And the goal comes from a bit of chaos, to be honest. Like, Utara gets a second bite of the apple with after his first shot is blocked, gets a second one, but he shoots past 3 defenders and Martinez, and they're all kind of like rushing about like headless chickens kind of to defend it. Like, no one really closes him down very well. They're all just like, they almost all try and go on the goal line to try and get a block in, and he manages to slot it past all of them. But it's like they didn't have any, there was no cohesive unit there. They were all just trying to do last man defending.
I guess as well they're thinking probably the angle he's at, he's got to do a lot to finish from there, but he does. That's the thing. Like, it's a really good finish from where he is. I've seen enough strikers miss those chances this season. But yeah, I mean, from that, it's then Brentford do something I don't think they've really shown much this season. They just knuckle down and get that result. Like, obviously away from home that hasn't been happening, but most of their wins I feel like in recent memory have been Thiago just banging in goals for them. And they've not really had to show too much defensive resilience.
Yeah, we've not seen too many 1-0 Brentford wins this season. Pretty safe in saying so. Yeah, just their 4th away win this season. It was a massive defensive effort. There were like pictures of the fans, and you know that feeling when, not even when you're down to 10 men, but when you're just getting like peppered and you're like holding on to a lead. They were head in hands, just looking so stressed, those Brentford fans. But they got away with it. It feels like that's not to discredit it. It is an incredible effort, but one of the stats to highlight it is Villa had 2.4 xG against Brentford's 0.38. So that kind of just goes to show, even if you don't believe in xG like yourself, it goes to show that it was a mighty defensive effort, and they were on the back foot for a lot of this. Even when they had 11, Villa were the better team.
Yeah,
but
were.
But I feel like Villa could have maybe played for 100 days and not scored. It just didn't seem like it was their day in front of goal. I know they had the disallowed one, but you know, other than that, they had loads of shots and weren't really. I mean, Kelleher played well, but Villa, you would have expected Villa to do better in front of goal.
Yeah, before we go into more in depth on that, guess who Brentford's, I think, only other 1-0 win this season was against?
It's not against West Ham, is it? Because they battered us.
No, it's against Villa in the home fixture.
Oh yeah, it is, and they also beat them in the Carabao Cup on penalties or something.
Yeah. I mean, the only other time like I've seen Brentford lose by 1-goal margin looks like it was Liverpool back in October. So yeah, I say something they've not been doing. But yeah, going on to Villa's, well, Kelleher, yeah, I think had a great game. Like he's been quite big, and I feel he's filled in for Flecken quite well this season overall. Would you agree? I know there was a couple of mistakes here and there early on, but
I was digging into the stats, and he's actually been quite like middle of the road when you look at like save percentage, like number of shots saved, like etc. But he's kind of flitting around that area. Like he's about like 10th, 11th in most metrics, but it's similar to like where Alisson and Raya are, sort of thing. So when he's having to get the saves, he is pulling out some really big ones, like 5 saves in this game. That's more than the average goalkeeper saves per game, sort of thing. So he absolutely came up big for Villa in this, and I think he's Brentford. I think he's come up big for Brentford at times this season, and there maybe been a couple of times where you might have expected a bit more from him. But he is a young keeper. I thought he was better than Flecken. I think that was an improvement. In all honesty, I think Brentford.
Flecken always had the game of his life against Palace, always. And I was like, nothing goes past this man when we played against him, so he was up there for me. But yeah, I think might be controversial, and it is very much like my rogue take. But I think that Tammy Abraham signing is going to lead to Villa's downfall. I think they're going to lead to missed chances, missed opportunities. Not necessarily all on him, because like he did have a strikers finished for the disallowed goal. I just see that's going to be a bit of a turning point in their season for some reason. So yeah, Villa fans are going to very much disagree with me, but there's something about it where I'm just there like, oh, this is going to change. I feel like it's going to change their team a bit, and it's not.
I don't know if I agree, because I think he's kind of come in to replace Gesson, who's obviously gone to you, and Gesson wasn't chipping in with anything. I think he got 1 or 2 goals all season.
To be fair, that's apparently because this is just from a Palace podcast I've been listening to, so maybe biased about it. But it's mainly because in Enri's system he wasn't playing like his natural position. Don't know how true that is. Like,
yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I saw him chucked onto the wing.
Yeah, and he's slow as hell from what I've seen of him on the wing. I'm hoping he'll be more of that Eze type where he's floating in like a 10 position for us and doing well. But yeah, I don't know.
But I think if for on the Abraham thing, like he's been chucked into the start from this one. I think he had a pretty good game, to be fair. Like we'll come on to the disallowed goal. He had chances, and I think he was just maybe a little bit rusty. I think if the injury Watkins has that kept him out of this one isn't too serious, then Abraham coming on or playing the Europa League games and stuff, I think that's going to be perfectly fine for Villa for the rest of the season. And then, I know they've signed him permanently, so we'll see sort of what happens after that. But I don't think it's a bad signing. I think it's probably an improvement on where they were.
I think for the price tag, it's definitely not a bad signing. I think he will do a bit, but I don't know why. I've just got this feeling. It's one of those feelings you just get out of nowhere. It's going to be like maybe a bit of I don't want to call him a journeyman because he isn't really. Is it harsh to call Tammy Abraham journeyman?
I mean, no offense to the Turkish Super League, but once you pop up there, you generally probably got a journeyman like tag on you. Especially I think he's 27 now. He's dotted around a few Italian clubs. He's obviously had a few English clubs with his Chelsea and his loans, etc. I think he's just looking for a home. Yeah. You would still hope that Tammy Abraham has good years left in him, and Villa fans would definitely be hoping that, given obviously Watkins is a few years older. And they worked so well when they had Duran last year, when they were able to mix and match. What they were both, Watkins and Duran, firing at times, and Villa have been reliant on Watkins so much since letting Duran go that they've desperately been searching for that second striker to come in and play enough games and get enough goals, etc. So we'll see. Time will tell, but I think it's a good signing.
No, I think it's going to curtail their season. They're going to end up doing what Forest did last season and starting to plummet towards the end. But yeah, prove me wrong.
Well, if one thing is going to cause that, it's going to be the midfield crisis, because McGinn, Kamara, and Tielemans are all out for at least a couple of months. Some of them until almost the end of the season, and they got Bogarden. They brought Douglas Luiz back, who had a pretty ineffectual loan at Nottingham Forest and didn't have a great time of it at Juventus. The hope is that he comes back to Villa and he's going home and he can pick up where he left off. But, it's been a couple of years since we've seen consistent quality from Douglas Luiz. So if they don't, without these midfielder, without McGinn, Kamara, Tielemans, I think the midfield will be where Villa struggle.
No, mate, don't make excuses. It's Tammy Abraham, and that's what you're going to see. But should we talk about the disallowed goal as well? I mean, the ball definitely went out. Let's not argue about that.
It's not. Did. Yeah, it's not. There's no argument there.
But do you really want a goal not to be given for something that's happened that far away, in play?
Well, I timed it when I was watching it, and it was 20 seconds between the ball going out of play and going in the back of the net. I think that falls it was quite a quick counter attack. Because I thought if this was any longer, if this was anything over 30 seconds, then we shouldn't be disallowing it. Because I'm sure back in like, I know they change the rules every year and there's so many iterations of it, but I'm sure we were talking about certain like fouls and being like, oh, it was over 20 seconds, it was over 30 seconds or whatever. So that they can't review it. It was too far back in the move, sort of thing. And they still talk about that now.
They pick and choose when they apply that or not, don't they? Let's be honest. Like,
I mean, they pick and choose when they apply any of the rules, don't they? There's real no consistency. It's you see some things given one week and you won't see it given the next week. I mean, I wish this was in play years ago when Man United whipped a ball well out of bounds at the London Stadium and then scored from it. It was infuriating, but they weren't checking for it then. So
yeah, it's not great, but yeah, it's not worth dwelling on. The ball just went out, so we can kind of move on from that. Job done for Brentford, do you think? Not job done completely for the season, but I think that's job done for what people were worried about them for this season, about going down under Keith Andrews. It's probably now just looking forward, really, and seeing how much more they can do.
Oh yeah, I mean 36 points now. That's their home record. They'll easily pick up several more. I think they're comfortably top half now. Really, I know there's still a lot of to and fro with those teams in the middle there, but they should have their sights set on Europe. No, I don't think anyone had them go with their away form this year. I don't think anyone had them going to Villa Park. The tear that Villa have been on at home, especially this season. And picking up 3 points, and then, as I say, the odds were all stacked against them. The red card, etc. How Villa were dominating the actual game. It's a great 3 points for Brentford.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Okay, I think that's everything for that. Should we move on to Wolves Bournemouth then?
Yeah. This one was a pretty exciting game. Iraola's 100th game in charge of Bournemouth, and he caps it off with a 2-0 win.
Yeah, 2-0 win, and it was kind of just all Bournemouth from what I've seen. I want to give Wolves a bit more, but they had the disallowed goal.
I think that's harsh. I think that's a bit harsh. I don't think Wolves necessarily created sustained pressure, but I think they had a few chances. I mean, they opened the scoring. It was chalked off for a correct offside decision, but our boy Mateus Mane did his part with a difficult header in that, and then I thought the Wolves started pretty well, and everything good was coming through Mane, as we've come to expect. He's just like he just suits this level so well. It doesn't, nothing looks out of place with him. Like everything good comes through Mane for Wolves.
We talked about it before, but do you think a year in the Championship is going to do him good, or do you think they're going to be impossible to hold on to him?
I think they're going to struggle to hold on to him. How good he's looked and how consistent he's looked. Like, it's not been flashes. It's been every single game I come away from Wolves, and he's their best player.
Yeah,
in the last like month or 2 months.
It's going to be an interesting one to see what they can do. But yeah, I think they're going to struggle, like you say. I don't know really what to pick out. I mean, the Krupi goal itself is pretty insane, the technique on it.
Oh, it's a sublime finish from Krupi. Like, the ball is moving quick, it's bouncing, and to loop it over Sarr, this is a kid with confidence just oozing out of him, and the audacity to try that as a 19-year-old.
I know you're saying the confidence to try it and technique, but how much of it do you think is like it just popped up nicely and it's one of those where you're like, just have it, let's see what happens?
Yeah, maybe, but I'm
being harsh.
I wouldn't back a lot of players to necessarily get that off, but I would back Krupi because he's got the best goals per 90 ratio in the league, better than Erling Haaland.
Really? I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, he's got 0.92 goals per game, whereas Haaland's 0.90. Obviously, Krupi doesn't play the same amount of minutes. He's in and out of the team a little bit more.
Well, that makes it more impressive, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's had an absolute incredible season, and that's what I'm saying. He's got the confidence. Like, he knows, even at his young age, he's got it at this level, and the ceiling for Krupi is excellent. And Did you see he rattled Jose Sarr?
I was going to say the little slap on Saar. No, I didn't think it's really much to talk about because it does look like a bit of fun, but you can see stuff like that in football can sometimes really switch, can't it? And I think Saar wanted to continue it going in for the half-time break, but I'm happy it wasn't nothing more really.
It's funny, it's football puts these situations where Jose Sarr is in his early 30s, I want to say, and Krupi is a 19-year-old, and what other walk of life are you getting this, like, in what is essentially their job? This little 19-year-old has just absolutely rattled this old keeper who's seen so much more football. He should have so much more like common sense to not get involved in that. Krupi's gonna say, I imagine Krupi has said something funny to one of his teammates, or maybe even to Jose Sarr, and he's taken it the wrong way. And it's probably one of those where Jose Sarr's obviously not had a good season. Wolves obviously haven't had a good season. They're very much preparing for the championship at this point. I mean, when you sign Adam Armstrong to replace Jorgen Strand Larsen, you're kind of waving the EFL flag. So I think it's probably just got to Sarr overall there. But I thought it was funny, and what I was mentioning about it being a petulant weekend of Barclays, this was another incident.
Yeah, another one in there. I guess after half time, Wolves do have some more chances, but nothing really. Well, one stood out for me, but we'll talk about that. But you got the Orikadara one that goes straight at Petrovic, where it should have been 1-1 from that, I guess. Like, if he puts it anywhere else in the goal, it's 1-0. Then you have Strand Larsen missing what a lot of people are calling a sitter. But I mean, he's just getting ready for Palace. That's what he's doing by missing that. He knows exactly what we want him to do.
What he didn't want to help Wolves out, or that's just what he's going to do for Palace as well.
That's what he's going to do for us, mate. That's it. He don't want to look too good, and then we might not sign him.
You just spent 48 million on him. This wasn't the audition that you wanted to see, was it?
Nah, but the audition came last season. Like, you can't say we didn't spend last season wanking him off pretty much week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? So they've definitely bought him off that. When Mateta was going out the door, and it made sense to be like, lose Mateta for 30 odd mil, bring Strand Larsen in for 40 odd mil, and it's like, what, 20 mil not down the drain, but 20 mil net loss. You kind of start like, okay, that makes sense. Now Mateta hasn't got a bit worried. Like, where the fuck did we get 48 million from? We can't spend money like that.
Well,
So,
you
yeah.
couldn't buy Dwight McNeil, so had to sack that one in.
I would have taken Dwight McNeil as well. For 20 mil, that seemed like a steal. But yeah, we'll talk about Palace shit later. But yeah, then you have Gomez hits the post from the corner. Ah, Wolves.
I think Wolves had some good chances in this game. They didn't go down. They gave Bournemouth a game. I think Bournemouth were the better team. The chances they created were cleaner. They were more efficient with them. I think Alex Scott was absolute man of the match in this game. He took the game by the scruff of the neck for Bournemouth and deserved his goal at the end. Like, he is another player who I love to watch. I like to see a bit more defensive steel in that Bournemouth midfield, so that Scott can have the license to go forward and roam and press and get into these attacking positions, because I think he's an absolute quality player.
Yeah, I must have got mixed up with remembering this game, because I've even got in my notes the Bournemouth defence did look a bit worrying at times in the second half as well. So yeah, I must have been getting mixed up with it. But yeah, you got Ryan coming on, new signing for Bournemouth, young Brazilian, setting up the goal for Alex Scott as well. So yeah,
I mean, he looks made for the Premier League, does Ryan? I know they spent 25 mil on him, so it's not a bet really that, like, but his stature and his strength and his pace and his quality on the ball. I know it was only really a flash that we got to see this weekend, but it's as good a start as you're going to get, really. And I compare it to like Luis Guilherme, who was at West Ham for a couple of seasons, and he always looked so lightweight. He's another Brazilian sort of teenager, 20-year-old sort of thing. And he's gone off to Sporting Lisbon now, I think. But Ryan just looks so much more built for the Premier League, whereas like Guilherme never did, and that's something that, credit to Bournemouth scouting. I said when they sold Semenyo that they might not necessarily need to bring someone in. I think they still had a good enough quality, but they've clearly identified Ryan as a mid to long term Semenyo replacement, and he's come in immediately and found Scott for an assist on his debut.
Yeah, clubs doing smart business, replacing the players they sell. What clubs do that? But yeah, I mean, I've got a similar comparison with Francho when he was at us. Like, he just looked too lightweight for the Premier League, and he's back in Brazil already on and we've dropped, I think, 20 odd million on him. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Anything else you want to take from that game? I think Bournemouth once again, they're just looking a bit better than they did a few weeks ago. Another win, and they're probably season's kind of done for them again as well. Similar to
Yeah, I think it's just worth noting that the team and Iraola, their heads didn't fully drop after that awful spell where they just could not buy a win. How easy would it have been to sack Iraola? How easy would it have been to start playing a blame game? I'm sure there were fingers pointed, but they've come through it at the other side now, and that's 3 wins out of 4 in the league. So things are looking bright on the South Coast again.
Yeah, Iraola didn't even have to quit his job and then throw the whole team under the bus just because he was in a bad run. Cool. Okay. Should we move on to Sunderland Burnley for Monday night? I mean, this one was domination by one team.
Well, that's the thing, is I probably would have started with this game, but it was just kind of cruise control from Sunderland.
Yeah.
I feel like, because they had it was the biggest win of the weekend for other 14 side, but it was just, I mean, it was excellent from Sunderland, but it was god awful from Burnley.
Yeah, this is the thing. I wanted to talk about this game and somehow not make it sound like give Sunderland the praise that they deserve for it, but also be like, what was it? What was this? Like Burnley, I think XG, which I hate, but their XG 0.06. What does that even fucking mean? And then,
Well,
yeah,
did they even have a shot on target? I know that they didn't have one until right at the end, if they did.
let me check. I don't think they did.
I mean, they looked so off the pace from the start. They had a couple of bright minutes early.
No shots on target. Just 5 shots altogether. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, okay, I don't think as a Burnley team in such a relegation position, you're not expecting to go Sunderland away on a Monday night and get anything good out of it. I think you're probably expecting to go up there and lose 3-0. Is that harsh? I think it's, if I was Palace and we were adrift at the bottom of the league and we're going away Sunderland Monday night, I'd fully expect the players just to not really give a shit.
Well, all I kept thinking was, how far have these two teams come since Burnley beat them 2-0 in August? Okay, that's at Turf Moor. Like, we were all the way back then, and talking about, all right, Burnley's home record is like, the home records are going to keep you up as a promoted team. We both know that. Mm-hmm. And then, but just look how far these two have come. Sunderland bounced back from that and have the best home record going. They're one of the few unbeaten home teams in Europe. And Burnley they just can't buy a win. We thought maybe those 3 draws on the bounce against top 6 opposition would give them something to bounce off, and then they just come into this. And Scott Parker said it, and he said it was unacceptable. And I do feel bad that we're talking about Burnley here. I think two things. I think both things can be true. Sunderland were really good, and Burnley were really, really bad.
Do you think if Sunderland don't get that first goal in the first 10 minutes, the game could have been a little bit different, but I don't think it could have. I generally don't think it could have.
No, I think it would have come eventually. The first goal is great work from Diarra. They obviously get a massive slice of luck from Tuanzebe, but then that obviously gives Sunderland the confidence. I was loving seeing Diarra back and bossing it after a few months out with injury. You obviously remember he was one of my top 5 transfers of the summer. So to see him come straight back, doesn't get the first goal given to him because of the football gods are cruel, and they give it to Tuanzebe.
Was it not Brobby that had the deflection?
Nah, it was Diarra.
Was it Diarra?
It was Brobby who passed it to Diarra.
My bad.
But then, yeah, the second one's a lovely move. Like really,
Well,
really
the
nice
second
ball from
one
Lefay.
reminded me a lot of the goal they scored against us, where
Mm. Mukiele finding that space.
yeah, find that space behind, then puts it across. It's not like the perfect cutback or like cross it was against us, but yeah, it's very similar. Ball goes across the box, and there's someone there just to slot it home.
And the keeper should do better. And I feel, am I vindicated in my Dubravka takes?
Nah, not just yet. Not just yet.
That I'm right, because like, come
Nah,
on, he should have done better with that.
nah, because he made up for it by having a fight with you. More petulance.
More petulance. It was a petulant weekend at Barclays.
That petulance
Yeah,
is quite bad, that one, because that is just literally nothing, head gone. Not head gone, but like nothing to play for, just a bit annoyed.
yeah,
Like,
nothing really happened. Like, I don't know really what Dubravka is expecting Hume to do. It's not like he goes in, studs up or anything. He's just running and trying to stop, and Dubravka slides into him, collecting the ball. Like, you're a goalkeeper. That's going to happen, mate. You're gonna collide with people's feet. You need to expect that. Why are you getting in it? Like, it's similar to the SAR situation. It's the frustrations coming out
yeah,
rather than actually the situation.
exactly that. But yeah, but then I guess the best bit of class in the game, the Taubi stunner to make it
Oh,
3-0. It was a lovely goal, wasn't it?
yeah, he kind of. This is going to be a really lazy comparison because they're both Moroccan, but he kind of reminds me of Adel Taarabt.
Oh, that is a lazy comparison.
It's lazy, but like you know how Taarabt would cut in from that left wing
Yeah,
and like curl one into the far corner.
do
It's
think.
lazy. It's lazy for sure because they're compatriots, but
No, but it is
but
that type of
but
goal he
both
got.
great and both great players. Like Talby is a great young, exciting player. I hope he's probably going to get more and more chances now that they've let Simon Adingra go out. So yeah, it was a beautiful goal.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's going to be up there with one of the goals of the season.
It's one of those that it's the thwack on the crossbar
Yeah,
that just adds the icing on the cake because it's like it's a nice, really nice goal. He's got the height to beat Dubravka, but then it's the thwack of the crossbar and like the ball going down. That's just like yeah, I could
absolute
watch that
chef
on
kiss.
repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. My thing though to take from this is like, how does Sunderland go away to you guys and play so badly, and then get a rocket up their arse, and then come back and do this to Burnley? It doesn't make
It's
sense
the
to me.
it's the home away.
But
It's
the
the
home
home
leg
away split.
can't be that drastically bad, can it?
I
Like
mean, it is. If we
it's
like, it really is. Like, if you look at the home league table this season, Sunderland are third. If you look at the away league table this season, they're 17th.
that's
They've won.
mental.
They've won two away games all season. They've won seven at home. They're third only behind Man City and Arsenal with their home record. As I said, they're one of the few unbeaten teams in all of Europe at home. They like it is built off the Stadium of Light. And I was watching it last night thinking, Monday night football can quite often be quite hard to get up for. It was pissing it down. They the crowd were right there, raucous, singing their anthem at the start, and given just enough probably.
Mate,
It was probably a little bit lower levels than say a Saturday evening or like that first game where they played us on at home to start the season and all the excitement and everything. But the fans gave them enough that it spurred Sunderland on, and that's why they start so well as well. And then
mate,
when they get that goal, they never look back.
mate, having been up there, it's like knowing how much that football means to that city. It's not one of the single team cities where it's amazing. Like you go into the city centre in the day and it's just red and white. So yeah, I
Hmm.
feel like it's going to be like that when they're doing well. You got to feel bad for having been there. It feels even worse for all that time it was like in turmoil. But yeah, definitely not right now. And hopefully they don't do a Forest and start dropping like flies. But I reckon they'll keep pushing. Be a bit worried though that if they lose the home form next season, then they're in big trouble. Or is that being too negative way too early?
That's being too negative way
That's
too
been
early.
too
I
early, isn't
think
it?
I don't think they'll lose it completely, but we have plenty of time to talk about next season.
Yeah, nice, cool. Okay, should we move on to Forest 1, Palace 1, the game I was at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, take it away.
Yeah, yeah, all I can say is thank the thank the ghost of Alan Mallory that Neco Williams was decided to handball that header, because fuck me, we were bad for that first 40 minutes. We were so bad. I was there with I said earlier, I went up with my mum and my mate who's a Forest fan, and yeah, going to the game, I was kind of like, okay, we might get something if we can score. If we can score first, we'll get something. Hopefully, I was like, if they score first and they score early, we're going to lose 4 or 5-0. So when, firstly, the trouble getting into the stadium was crazy. Marinakis putting like full body searches on every Palace fan getting in there because he's scared we're going to bring the banner again. But yeah, Morgan Gibbs-White puts the goal in from some pretty shoddy defending from a long throw, and then Forest should have had 2 more goals in the first 30 minutes. I think there's one that goes across goal that is it Jesus misses, and they just seem to have like countless chances. So when I got to the 40th minute, I said to my mum, I'm going to have some red stripes on my concourse because I can't take this anymore. As soon as I get down, I hear the handball shout and get up and get a CSAR's penalty go in. And yeah, from that moment on, the game completely changed. I don't think we should have won, I think, but if we had anyone that could take a shot or make a good pass in the final third, we would have probably walked away with it. But the stupidest thing is if Neco Williams doesn't make that handball and lets the ball go in from Lerma's header, I think Forest go on and win the game 3-1 if they have all 11 players on the pitch. So yeah, all I can say is thank God for Neco Williams.
You mean Neco Luis Suarez Williams, to address him as give him his full title. Yeah, this wasn't a particular vintage game, I don't think.
Oh, God,
I don't
no.
really think from either team. Another thing for Forest to point to is Matt Sells went off at half-time with an injury. They signed Stefan Ortega on the same day. I expect he starts now. I wasn't sure if he was coming in as a backup, but I think he's good enough that probably he'd get the opportunity, and he probably won't like play bad enough to get dropped. But yeah, it's not been a great season for Matt Sells after what was such a vintage season last year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the fact we didn't test Angus Gunn for 45 minutes, who, let's be honest, is probably a League One keeper, Championship at best.
Oh,
Like,
look who's giving it to goalkeepers now, eh? Oh, Angus Gunn. Alex has called you a dickhead.
but yeah, the fact we didn't put any shots at him was shambolic. But it's so us like all over. And
Well, you could feel the JP-shaped hole in attack, really.
yeah,
Like you. I think the hope was if you have Pino, Johnson, and Sarr that they can interchange and kind of maybe bamboozle the defense, but it didn't work out like that. It just like the Forest defenders were just clearing things. They were just pushing the Palace players off the ball. They were ready for it, and it just didn't work for Palace. And obviously they didn't have alternatives ready to go, so it was kind of a forced situation. But yeah,
7 people on the bench. They had 10. I think 3 of our bench was kids. There's 2 goalkeepers, and what was it? Klein, Cambo, who are both defenders, and Chris Dancer's Uche, who I've said many a times is basically me running around on a football field. I think that interchangeable 3 could work against a team that doesn't want to defend, but against Forest, who are known
oh,
for...
it would work against West Ham for sure, because Max Kilman and Mavropanos would be running about like headless chickens. But against Forest, who are Sean Dyche's defending babies, they Nuno, the spirit of Nuno in them and stuff. They were. It also didn't work out well enough. It wasn't like a tiki-taka, like Barcelona type front three that was moving in all around. They were all kind of being a bit selfish. Like Pino was taking too many shots and he wasn't on form, and they weren't linking up like as smoothly as you would like.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, it's just decision making in the final third as well. At times, Sarr should have shot, but gave the pass, and the pass went straight to a Forest defender. But that's also because what Forest are doing defensively, they're putting bodies in there and they're stopping you. I think, yeah, the first 30 minutes, or first 40 minutes even, it was a bit end-to-end, but our chances weren't, like, really threatening. All the Forest chances seemed fucking lethal, like them going forward. I don't understand how they're in a relegation fight, because that team it seemed too good to be where it is. Elliot Anson is probably the best player I've seen live all this season. He was taking the piss out of Palace's midfield and defenders throughout the game. Like, his close control is unbelievable. His ability I was saying to another um Forest fan from work, and he said like, yeah, his ability to kind of come in for a tackle like out of nowhere and just like nick the ball without like really putting in a challenge is elite. And yeah, Forest fans seem like resigned to him just passing through because he is that good, and I can agree with him right now that he was insanely good, and I understand why all the hype's been behind him now because probably hadn't seen it from seeing him live before the season. But yeah, in this game he was truly outstanding.
Yeah, yeah, an excellent player. I think it's taken some time for him to get there. He obviously had to leave Newcastle when I don't think either he or Newcastle really wanted to leave. He's found a home at Forest, but he does also look too good to be battling a relegation battle. So I'm sure the Wolves will be coming for him. Not Wolverhampton, that is the Big Six Wolves. Yeah, there wasn't too much else to say about this game, really. Dyche and Glasner had a bit of a shout at their team, the loudest competition at one point. From Glasner, it all kind of felt like trying to outdo the man next to you. And then a bit of some Jeremy Pino handbags in there.
Yeah,
And then
he loves a yellow card, Pino.
and then the last bit, just the last chance of the game falls to Tyreek Mitchell, kind of like the worst player for it to fall to in that scenario. He doesn't kind of know what he wants to do with it and doesn't end up really doing anything.
Unless he's playing against West Ham, mate, then he knows exactly what to do.
Oh yeah, then he turns into like run at R9 for some reason.
No, this is a Dan one coming down from coming down from the heavy heights and whacking it away. But yeah, I think end of the day, getting a point, 9 points away from you guys now. I'm happy with that. Like, yeah, we probably should have got the win when they went down to 10 men, but just it was a must not lose game going into it, and we didn't lose it. So yeah,
It's
happy.
all right. This was the perfect result for me. 1-1, a red card. Palace don't look any better. This was when Forest were winning. I was like, "Come on, Palace! Like, do me a favour." This was perfect result for me, mate.
Let's see what you're saying in a few weeks' time when you need
Oh,
that
mate,
one more.
when we lose to Burnley next week?
But yeah, do you want to talk transfer stuff for our teams, or I guess we kind of touched on with Strand Larsen, haven't we?
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the transfer stuff?
Not really.
Obviously, they didn't get Dwight McNeil over the line. I think it's been a bad window for Palace.
Yeah, I think we should have got a centre back in for sure. That's really annoying. Dwight McNeil. I think we got Dwight McNeil, Strand Larsen, and Johnson in. You can't really complain, even though Johnson is the invisible man so far, which is really annoying. But
Yeah, spending 100 mil on that front three though would be a bit like, is that really like?
I don't think
It's
it's that bad. Like it's 30. If you put it for those front three, it's 30 mil per player. So you pay 30 mil for three proven Premier League players.
Yeah, but like, how would you have bought Dwight McNeil for 20 mil, which is what Everton paid for him, and he barely plays for Everton?
Yeah, I mean, I just
Like,
think
he should have depreciated in value
he
because of
should have.
they barely use him, and they almost got 20. They would have got 20 mil out for you if Mateta's knees weren't made of soggy biscuits.
I was telling you his knees were done for ages, isn't it? So it felt quite good to be fucking proven right on that. But
Did it feel good when he failed his medical and you have a JP sulking back at Sellers Park?
it is pretty funny because the memes that have come out of it are brilliant. There's one where I don't know if you've seen the Gordon Ramsay one where he's shouting John Philippe, John Philippe, John Philippe. It's like glad making Mateta run around the training pitches for the next 6 months. But no, I just think 30 mil for three Premier League players each isn't bad. The Strand Larsen one's big, but I already said like what I think about that. I worried like wide we're going to be fucking bankrupt now for the next foreseeable. But if he comes good, it's not the worst signing ever. It's just there's a lot of pressure on him to come good now.
Yeah, and I mean, no transfer window where you lose your cup-winning captain and you can't reinvest the money that you sell Mateta for because he doesn't go is always going to be looked at with a little bit of negativity.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of Gay for 20 mil, that lay in his contract, I think it's the highest player's ever gone with 6 months left on his contract. So
Yeah, but you have to
technically,
replace. You needed to replace him.
oh yeah, God, we need to replace him. Chadi Riyad came back from injury, who's like a new signing, but he's not. Like we probably needed to do the signing you did on loan for how do you say his name? Zari.
Disassi.
Disassi, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I guess we'll talk more about transfers when we see players actually doing stuff. Or when we see Strand Larsen snap his ACL against Brighton next Sunday.
You're so positive.
Yeah, cool. I'm talking about that. Should we move on to Brighton 1, Everton 1?
Yeah, yeah. Brighton had loads of chances early in this game, and I thought they were a bit wasteful, which is probably fair to say about Brighton a lot of the time this season. I feel like we were always talking about them having chances, and then they don't kick on and put the ball in the back of the net enough to see games off, and then they what happens at the end? This is as a result of them not trying to pull away from Everton early enough.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Like, they have early chances, and then the game gets a bit dull for the rest of the first half. Then Everton start to take the initiative, concede to who scores to Gross, and then it's just they don't finish the game off at all. Invite Everton back in, and thankfully Everton get the last of the game. Well, Beto gets a goal of the last kick of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the one player in this one, Dewsbury Hall, getting him back for Everton was absolutely massive. I know he came back against Leeds, but he started this game and he looked like the bright spark that he has been for Everton all season. He probably should have scored. He had two quite good chances, and I think maybe a fit and firing Dewsbury Hall, who isn't just come back from an injury, probably scores one of them. But it's still good to have him back for Everton fans. Obviously, with Grealish going out, they desperately need that spark, and Dewsbury Hall provided that. The Brighton goal, it's firstly just a really nice leave by Costellas.
Yeah, that leave is pretty much what makes that goal, isn't it?
Yeah, and then Gross slots it home, his first goal since his return from Borussia Dortmund. Great celebration with the fans who love him. Like they were proper going for it, but not the best celebration of the game because Beto looks angry when he comes on. I don't know if you saw that, like how he just looked pissed off when he was getting when they were trying to tell him what to do at the corners on the touchline. He's just like, it doesn't look like he's listening. He's just like, I am gonna punt the ball so hard if I get a chance. I'm gonna tear the net off. Like,
you can get that if you're him though, can't you? Because like Barry obviously finding the form is going to keep Beto on the bench for a while. But
yeah, and he only comes on in the 89th minute, so like he has a right to be pissed off. As I want my striker pissed off. I want them coming on going, I'm going to prove you wrong.
I said this to you earlier in the season when they both weren't firing, and I was like, I still think them having the two of them and being able to bring one on is massive. Like that, having two strikers who feel like the same level, and if one of them finds a hot streak, you're playing them. The other one can come in and still like do the job, even if they're not on a hot streak. I think it's really two good attacking options for Everton to have, and it showed in this game, and it sent the away end at Everton into absolute limbs.
Yeah, it's good now that Barry's hit a bit of form and now Beto's come off the bench to score. It wasn't necessarily as good when neither of them could hit the back of the net for 3 months. Like when you were saying it, I was like, I could understand the optimistic outlook, but it wasn't looking good back then. But
well, do you know what it is? It may have just been the fucking consistency of having two players that are the same level, like interchanging. Whereas Palace, it's like we have Mateta and then we have no one.
Yeah, the drop off is massive.
That's probably what I'm just seeking for, and I'm jealous that Everton have that.
You're like, you have options.
Yeah.
What's that like?
That's exactly how it feels. But yeah, the Beto goal as well, coming off the rebound from the keeper, some good defending from Lewis Dunk following his man, and not being able to header it away. Just thought I'd get that little needle in there.
Of course, yeah. Birthday goal for Beto as well. He made sure he got there first, and Q limbs in front of the way end, 97th minute. Stuff that we were saying last week about that Bournemouth winner. This feels like a great point for Everton. They've actually got a pretty good recent record away at Brighton, but
like 3 wins in the last 4 down there is an insane record. Who else in the fucking league has that outside the top 6? Surely no one.
Yeah, definitely not. Like, but and then it'll almost feel like a win. I know it's only a point, but just the manner of the victory, getting that last minute, it'll put a spur in all of those Everton fans' step for the rest of the week.
Man, I'll take that fucking next Sunday for us to score in the last minute for a draw. I mean, I pray for it to be as good as last year, but there's no hope we're going to get that. So yeah, I would take a last minute equaliser, last minute win, and you probably won't see me on the pod next week. But, yeah, cool. Anything else from that game, or do you want to move on to the United Fulham game?
Yeah, a couple of 3-2s next. Yeah, Fulham, heartbreak, really.
Yeah, it was heartbreak. Like, I guess we didn't touch on United two goals. Well, do you want to touch on the penalty decision as well?
I mean, it was the right call, but I was a little bit confused as to now VAR is giving free kicks.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Whereas,
sense.
like, I was like, I, you know me, I lose track with all these rules. And back in the day, it was like, oh no, VAR can't give free kicks. If it would have gone out to whatever the result in like goal kick or whatever it was. But now apparently VAR is going back and giving free kick. I mean, it was the right decision, so I don't think you can really have two arguments. I'm just questioning the process of getting there. And then I do just think like it's pretty poor defending from the resulting free kick. I think they
Yeah.
maybe weren't concentrating after it being a penalty and not etc. VAR checking that.
That's it. They probably thought they got out of jail with it, and then just being a bit lax there. I think a lot of stuff in this was a bit lax from Fulham that led to it being 3-2 in the end. Maybe
Yeah, it was poor
harsh.
defending all game.
Yeah, maybe harsh on Leno to say he could have done better with the Cunha one. I mean, it smashed past him. It's similar to, was it the Iari one against him for Brighton, where we said could he do better? But it's just the sheer pace that goes past him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's I put more blame on Cuenca and Robinson, who just leave Cunha in between both of them, and neither of them can close him down really. And yeah, he just absolutely smashes it past Leno. I wouldn't blame him too much on that, but yeah. And then Fulham kind of come into it after that point, after being 2-0 down and playing some pretty bad defending. They kind of start to get on the ball a bit more. Chukwueze, Cuenca has an offside goal after Chukwueze was offside. It was after a bit of a ping-pong free kick situation, but right decision at the end.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. And then does it come to the penalty after that? I've got a bit lost. No, do we have the
No, Maguire. Yeah, it's the penalty. Maguire
Yeah,
sends Raul flying.
yeah. It is a pen. Is it a pen? It's definitely a pen. It's just one of those that you don't really. I feel like you don't see get given often because the striker's got the shot away. Do you know what I mean?
This is another inconsistency that I found this season. Is sometimes they don't give it because the striker had a shot.
Hmm.
Sometimes they ignore it. And in this one, the striker had a shot. It didn't go very far because he was absolutely closed in. But I do also think this is a penalty. Like
He's
Maguire has
cleared them
absolutely
out.
sent him flying.
Yeah, but it's just that I don't think I've seen that given for like Palace at all. I think Palace have committed that challenge and not a penalty given against them as well. Do you know what I mean? It is real inconsistency of that one. But yeah, defo pen, great fucking penalty from Jimenez as well.
Oh,
How
you think it was a great penalty? I think it was a bad penalty.
do you? If he's meant
I
to do
think
it, he's got some
no.
balls on him.
He's like scooped it. Like
I
who's
think he's meant to do
scooping a
it.
penalty?
I think he's meant to do it.
Nah, I don't think he's meant that. I think he's fucked it and he's gone "Ugh," and got away with it.
I think he's meant to. He's got some absolute balls on him to do that because it is fucking risky to do that with a penalty, isn't it?
Very, very risky. And then an absolute wonder goal from Kevin.
Yeah, we're gonna cut in a little bit here. That was a nice cut in that you suggested with it's Catherine O'Hara, wasn't it, passing away early in the week?
Yeah, rest in peace to Catherine O'Hara. And yeah, just thought that as soon as Kevin came into the league, that was in my mind, and I was waiting for a moment to play that.
I'm wide, it probably cut it in too loud and hurt a lot of listeners' ears, so don't say we didn't warn you it was coming. But yeah, and at that point I think Fulham limbs in the away end. You can see how much celebrations mean. They think they've got the point to take away from Old Trafford, which at the start of the game didn't look like it was going to be very likely. But yeah, once again, it seems Fulham just switch off, and is it Calvin Bassey gets caught out by the Fernandez dummy, or is it
Hmm.
yeah? And then I think from that both Anderson and Conker, if that's how you pronounce his name.
Do you mean Castagna?
No, not Castagna, the other defender.
Oh, Cuenca's off at that
Cuenca.
point. He went off for
Yeah.
Bassey.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's Anderson and Castagna at right back who are just running about like headless chickens. I
Yeah.
mean, the defending is an absolute joke for that. Like,
Well, they're lost as soon as Fernandez does the dummy on Calvin Bassey. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah,
because they're there probably thinking game's over, nothing to worry about. Like, we'll deal with that outplay. We'll go for a throw in, and then they're like shit, 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 shit. And
Anderson in particular is running about, doesn't know his arse from his elbow.
well, Anderson's not going to be doing that at this point in a game in his career. Like, I love the man, and he's good at putting like long balls over. He'll do a job, but he is getting on, and he's not good. He's not the most agile defender. He never was, let's be honest. So as soon as he's running back towards his goal, it's kind of game over. You feel for them because it just needed that little bit of concentration there, and they get a good and maybe not deserved point, but they get a good point.
Yeah, it's. I mean, no clean sheet in 7 matches. They could have conceded more than 3 in this one as well. Like, yes, it's heartbreak at the end, but you know, it is also it was coming. There was some pretty bad defending in this game.
Yeah, exactly that. Cool. Then should we move on to the game that we're probably going to talk most about? West Ham. Was it Chelsea 3, West Ham 2? I'll let you go first.
This one, we battered them in the first half.
You did.
Like,
very much
everything was coming off well. The attacking combinations between Bowen, Wan-Bissaka, Somerville, Pablo, Castellanos, Fernandes, like they were all playing so well. Bowen and Somerville were backheel passing to each other. It was just like, it was so good. Obviously, get the early goal. Bowen's floated cross. Pablo kind of going for it. Does Sanchez in, and then to get to Somerville, like, gets the finish after some great combination play. And I never felt comfortable. There was way too much game to be played. Nuno was gonna get defensive. Chelsea were gonna bring on their big guns. We kind of got lucky. Like, obviously, like, you played Chelsea recently, and they were like, they kind of put you to the sword kind of thing, and we kind of probably got lucky that they had a Champions League game, so they played a couple of their B team players, and then once they were 2-0 down, it was almost like we should have just been 1-0 up, and they probably wouldn't have made those changes. They might have given the B team a bit longer, and the fact that we were 2-0 up, they made the changes at half time and did okay initially coming out of the half. Obviously came under a bit more pressure, but still were getting forward a little bit. But then once they break the deadlock, it was only really ever going to end one way.
Yeah, I think at half time I was going to pick up a takeaway with my mum because she stayed the night before we went up to Nottingham, and I saw the score in the pub when I was walking past. I was like, fucking hell, this is dreadful. West Ham are going to get 3 points and we're going to lose, and Forest are going to get 3 points. I was like, this is going to be the worst weekend of my life. But yeah, I think you got kind of there, haven't you? It's the subs that make all the difference. The subs for Chelsea, all of them get assist or goal, and I think the subs you bring on kind of don't help you. You kind of invite pressure once again, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we said it when Nuno started, like, when Nuno was hired, we were like, he does this, like, he did this at Forest. I didn't realise how early he did it, because this was around 60 minutes that he's bringing on Kilman. And
66 minutes, and Kilman's getting a lot of hate because of this as well.
Yeah, and like, Kilman has been dire for West Ham. Like, there's no skirting around that fact. But like, it hasn't worked all season. There's not been an instance where he's brought Kilman on with 20, 30 minutes and we've seen it out. It just doesn't work.
To be
So
fair, mate,
he needs to stop doing it.
It's not like you spent like 40 odd million on Kilman or anything.
Well, I'm just hoping Disasi can actually nose his arse from his elbow, because like, none of our other centre backs do. Todibo has a great chance to score at 2-2, and maybe that's a winner if we get it. Maybe that knocks the wind out of Chelsea's sail, then he just sees the red mist.
But do we have to accept that Wolves have pulled both our pants down for £40 million for players?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've probably got the better. I'd take Strand Larsen for 48 over Kilman for 40.
Oh, it's mad looking back at that signing. But yeah, sorry, go on. I needed to get that in there.
No, I mean, there's not really much else to say. Like Chelsea's goals just come, they're champions, as you said, like they're Champions League level players off the bench just took the game away from us.
Yeah, it
We
is that.
can't,
I mean,
we sunk into ourselves. We stopped pressing and stopped playing our game, and then there's just a bit of red mist at the end of the game.
mate, the red mist at the end was hilarious. I mean, once they get the first goal, you're like, shit, 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 shit. But you did something I thought only Palace could do, and give Chelsea a record of never coming back from 2 goals in a Premier League game. And I was
As soon as I saw that graphic on Sky Sports coming out of half time, I was like, well, that's changing today. You know, when like you just see them, it happens to West Ham so often. There's just like, hey, here's a record. Okay, well, that's going to get broken in the next 45.
100% going to break it. But yeah, the fight was hilarious. I mean, no, I didn't text you about it because I felt a bit bad. But I was like, damn, Traore looked like he was going to eat Pedro. When he was
Yeah.
going, it's the
I
hand
mean,
out and like his hand like open as well, walking towards it. It's like he's going to fucking eat him. He's going to kill him.
I mean, he tosses Cucurella to the side. Like, no one's even talking about that bit, and he's actually just yeeted him like 5 yards, like he's just a bit of mud on his shoe. And then he turns around, the look on Pedro's face when
Absolutely
Traore
shit
turns
his
around
pants.
after pushing him, he's like, shit. And then Todibo comes in, starts strangling him. Mavropanos does a little petulant slap on someone. It's just like,
Mavropanos is the least crazy one in the whole situation.
I honestly I was in the pub and I just left halfway during this because I was like, he's obviously going to send him off.
Yeah.
Like, it died down and I was like, once the ref started going over to the screen, I was like, all right, I'm just leaving. Like, this is not gonna, he's gonna get sent off. There's no, I'm gonna get the tube home. Like,
It was madness, the strangle. But silver lining, do you like how much your players cared in that London derby and showed how much it kind of meant to them that they were disappointed in throwing away the lead? Or was that
I
no
mean,
motivation?
maybe, but unless Disassi can come in and start, which he hasn't kicked the ball in months, then we're playing Kilman at Burnley, which is a massive game. We didn't touch on it in the Burnley part, but that's kind of like, that's their last chance, really.
Yeah.
At turning something around. So they're gonna, at home, they're gonna be desperate for a win. We're now hamstringing ourselves to play either Kilman or, as I say, a rusty Disassi. Like, I still hope, I was still, if we can bottle the first half performance and come out with that energy. And obviously we won the 2 games before, won the QPR game in the cup. Like, I hope this hasn't dented the confidence so much that they can take the positives out of it. And because, yeah, I mean, Burnley's a must win for us, and it's going to be difficult, but it's an absolute must win.
Yeah, it's a must win, and I would condemn Burnley. I think what you got to hope is that that first half doesn't knock your confidence, and what happened to Leeds, as we'll get onto later on, knocks their confidence, and you can kind of go for them. I mean, maybe go for us. I hope not, but I see Forest being completely fine now after seeing how they performed against us. So yeah, it's going to be a big one next week for you, Turf Moor.
Yeah, big one. A couple of quick ones to finish off.
Yeah, Newcastle 4, Newcastle 1. I mean, Gordon opens the scoring, first goal in 32 games, so you'll probably be happy to see Dina doing his bits again for you.
Yeah, I mean, Barnes was the best player for Newcastle in that opening 40 minutes. Gordon gets a goal, decent finish. Barnes crashed the post beforehand. Gordon, decent finish, Megs Kirkes, but and Newcastle were the better team in that point. And then they just fell apart.
Completely fell apart.
Just looked like they didn't know how to defend at all. Like, the first one, Ekitike just wants it more than the Newcastle defenders. The second one's abysmal, mostly from Tior. They're just like, the space they give him is crazy. Wirtz has acres of space for the third one, and then there's calamity defending / goalkeeping for Kanate's one. It's just like, they looked so good in the first 40 minutes. It was one-way traffic, it felt like, and then
just fell apart.
Just absolutely fell apart.
Yeah, it was a late kickoff, wasn't it? It was the 8 o'clock one. I'm trying to make excuses for
What, are you saying it was past their bedtime?
Well, no, I'm trying to make excuses for them, but I just feel like that inconsistency is there, and once a team gets on top of them, you can quite easily take it away from them. Do you know what I mean?
Are you saying Malik Tior and Sandro Tonali had their eye on the Newcastle nightlife rather than the rather than Anfield.
No, Tonali was on his way to Arsenal apparently from all the bullshit fucking media claims. That was the worst transfer rumour of the whole thing. Like, I did the one thing that I said never do again, and I watched Sky Sports News like throughout the day on deadline day. And to begin the day, they were like, yes, this random German reporter has said to, Arsenal are in for Tonali. And I was like, well, that's clearly bullshit to begin with. And they kept running with it throughout the day, and I was like, oh my god, these people have nothing. They have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I did warn you that was going to frustrate you.
I thought it was bad before, but this is a new level of shit like they put forward. I'm never ever doing it again now.
So much worse than it used to be. I just have a look at BBC Sport or The Athletic now, went on transfer deadline day and go about my business.
Bring back dildos in the car park. That's what I want. Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on that game? I mean, if Nick Pope's having a mistake in the game as well, Newcastle have had a bad day all round.
Yeah, nothing else for that one. And I only have one note for the last one because I don't think there's too much to really say. It Leeds losing 4-0 to what looked like the champions elect. The only note I have is, what's keeper doing for the second one?
Yeah.
Cole Darlow punching the ball in the back of his net.
It's bad.
Vindication.
The only thing you can give him is the Calvert-Lewin is just so powerful at heading. His heading aura got in the way of Darlow, so he was like I can't catch it. There's like a barrier around his head that's going to make the ball deflect. Got to punch it. But
it's like, no, Dominic, no, don't head it in. I'll punch it in for you.
But yeah, they just got slapped really in that one. But yeah, cool. Okay, should we move on to predictions for next week then?
Let's do it.
Big one, bomb, Friday night. Friday night games, I don't like it. I don't think I like it at all. Do you?
I mean, I prefer it to Monday night.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Cool. Leeds United, Forest, Ellen Road. I think this is a huge one for Leeds.
It's a huge one for us as well, mate.
And for you, not us yet. Not us yet. Oh, God.
You say that.
Nah, goal difference, mate. We're fine. It's an extra point, that. It's a bigger game for Spurs, in all honesty.
I'm going to go 1-1, although I do feel like Leeds under the lights at Ellen Road on a Friday night will be up for it.
I think Forest are going to win 2-1.
Ooh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. Then on to Saturday, we have Arsenal Sunderland at the Emirates. I mean, really want to say a draw or Sunderland win, but it's probably going to be 4-0 Arsenal, isn't it? If they're going to replicate their form they had last time in London from Sunderland.
Yeah, Sunderland away from home. I think that would be a tough one. I don't know if Granit Xhaka's going to be back to have a sort of homecoming, but I think Arsenal are going to probably get a 2-0 win.
Yeah, not homecoming, because all the Arsenal fans will clap him like they loved him, but
oh yeah,
we'll try not to remember when he was subbed at Palace and he was given a
bit two-faced, but
yeah. Typical Arsenal fans. Cool. Bournemouth, Villa, Vitality. That's a hard.
It's a tough one.
I think Bournemouth 2-0. I think Tammy Abraham curse is gonna come strong.
I'm gonna go Desmond 2-2.
Cool. Burnley West Ham, the big one. I'm gonna go 0-0, and it'd be the worst game of football ever.
I mean, it will be a turgid affair for sure, but I'm gonna be positive about my bloody team. I'm gonna go 1-0 West Ham.
Cool. Fulham, Everton, at Craven Cottage. It's just a dead rubber of a game, really, isn't it? Is that mean?
It's definitely mean. It's only February, but I mean, it's a tough one to call. These two teams, I can't tell what to make of them at times. I'm going to back Fulham at home, even though Everton seem to be picking up points on the road. I'm going to go Fulham 2-1.
I'm going to go 1-1. I just got a feeling about it. I feel like it's better that Saturday 3 o'clock. I feel like if that was served up on a Monday night, you kind of there like, I'm not going to.
It'd be 0-0. Monday night, that would be 0-0 all over.
Yeah. Wolves, Chelsea.
I mean, if Chelsea don't play their B team, they'll do away with Wolves.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Wolves. I'm 3-0 Chelsea, sorry.
I was going to say bold take, Cotton.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go 3-1 Chelsea. I think Wolves, I'm going to go Mane get a goal.
Cool. Newcastle, Brentford, 5:30 on the Saturday. I don't think Brentford are going to replicate their away win all the way up in North East, I'm going to go 1-0 Newcastle. I'm really not looking forward to this weekend of football.
I was going to say, you're right, mate.
No, I don't know.
Do you need someone to talk to?
I'm sorry, all other 14 supporters. I think it might just be the nerves of the game I've got to go to on Sunday that again to me of just trying to shit on everyone else rather than myself.
Just hoping for a really miserable week so you don't have to do the podcast next week, don't you, mate? Newcastle Brentford, I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, that's
and I'm going to say Johan Visser's going to get one.
Cool. Then Sunday games, only two. Well, only one for us, actually. Cool. Brighton, Palace, the El Gatwico, A23 derby, whatever you want to call it. I'll happily walk away over 1-1, sorry. But I've got a feeling if Brighton take early chances, which they've shown they're getting games, it could be bad. It could be like when I last went and we lost 3-1 there, and I think they were 3-0 up within the first 20 minutes. I just pray. I pray maybe Larson starts and we see something good. Larson hat-trick, but I think it's more likely a Larson snapped ACL than there is a Larson hat-trick.
Stop wishing this snapped ACL on the poor lad. You just signed him for £50 million.
Not raising up to make it sound worse than
I've added some add-ons now. He's a £50 million signing. El Gatwico. See, I have the opposite feeling. I know you're pessimistic as ever, but this just feels like the one that Palace do something. They won't. It might not be pretty, but it'll be like a Munoz scrappy goal. It's someone random, like will it'd be like a 2-1 Palace win, and and I'll be annoyed.
I'll still be drunk by the time we pod next week if that's the case, but yeah, I don't know.
Always drunk, mate.
No, I just keep thinking it's going to be the point when Glasner gets sacked. I thought we'd lose the Forest and Brighton game and he'd get gone. Like, the fans have turned against him completely, and I thought this would be the moment. I keep thinking it's got to be a time when it hits rock bottom with like the results. And
there's more rock bottom for you to come, my friend.
Well, we got Burnley after that game, so it could be.
Oh, maybe that's Burnley's turning point then.
Yeah, exactly. That's a worrying thing. We got Burnley. So our next three were Brighton, Burnley, and Wolves. It could lose all of them. It's rock bottom central.
Welcome, come, my friend, come.
Oh, cool. Okay, we'll leave it there then. Cheers for listening as usual. Feel free to rate and review the pod, and anything on socials or Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Reddit at other14fc podcast, or email in at other14fcpodcast@gmail.com. But otherwise we'll catch you guys next week where we've got some pretty big games to talk about for ourselves at least.
We might both be in tears come Monday, so
be talking about cricket next week. Okay, catch you guys there. Bye.
Cheers.